Do you ever feel like you're constantly solving other people's problems but leaving little time and energy for yourself? Do you have a hard time saying no to other people? Do you tend to avoid new challenges in order to avoid failure? If you answered yes to any of these questions, today I'm going to share 5 life lessons that I learned the hard way in hopes that they will help you save some sweat and tears along your journey. You know that saying, treat people the way you want to be treated? It doesn't always work out that way. You cannot be nice and give indiscriminately to others, hoping that they will be considerate and return the favor one day. Sometimes you need to be loud about your needs and know when to withhold your niceness. I try to be considerate and avoid inconveniencing others, but it often left me drained and my needs unmet. I went through a lot of frustration about this. I was willing to go the extra mile to help other people out, but sometimes that wasn't reciprocated and I was so burnt out. Then I realized something. Sometimes other people didn't know what I wanted because I never asked for it.
I just assumed that if I'm considerate to them, that they would just return the favor.
Then I realized that if I told people I needed help, most of the time they had no problem helping me out. They just didn't realize or they didn't know how to help me. People may not make the effort to predict your needs, but it doesn't mean that they would not help you if you asked. So, stand up and ask. It will save you a lot of frustration.
But if your need is for someone to read your mind, then I'm afraid you might be out of luck.
And if someone isn't willing to reciprocate, then you know to redirect your energy elsewhere next time. You don't need to have your whole life planned out, but you do need to think about what you want in life and prioritize accordingly. There were a lot of times where I stressed myself out with all the small things because I just cared about everything. I thought I was being a great person for solving all the problems for the people around me. And sometimes I did feel that intrinsic reward, but trying to solve all the problems made my life tiring. And at some point, I lost sight of what I wanted for myself. I needed to prioritize and learn to let go of some of the smaller problems that weren't worth my time and energy. You have limited time and energy, and if you're not prudent about how you spend that time and energy, then your life will just go by and you'll be like, what did I do with my life? Not everything needs to be fixed, and not everything deserves your attention. Also, your priorities may not remain the same throughout your life. In fact, they will shift as you grow. That's why you need to revisit them and make sure that whatever you're prioritizing is fulfilling your needs. So, what are your priorities? Are you dedicating enough time to your priorities versus just being busy? You need to establish boundaries. And I know it's a lot easier said than done, especially if you don't want to disappoint people. Boundaries are about respecting yourself and protecting your mental health. Saying no doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you a person who values their time. It's not about being unhelpful. It's about being intentional. Deliver well on the commitments that you make, but don't overextend yourself. I used to have trouble turning people down because I didn't want to let them down. I was that person aiming to do a perfect job and help people out whenever they asked, like a good teammate, always on call. You know what happened as a result? I got a pat on the back and more work. Of course, it also depends on whether you have a good manager that wouldn't do that to you, but sometimes even nice managers don't even realize that they're doing that to you because
You're that reliable person, and they're asking you to do all this because they trust you to do a good job.
yeah, I know. It's good to be that reliable person, but with boundaries. Now that I practice saying no more, I realize people actually ask me less for random stuff. So it actually creates a positive cycle. The more I establish my boundaries, the less people try to test me. If you never say no, guess what? Then people will come to you first for all the random stuff because they will have the highest chance of getting what they want out of you. If you're not sure how to say no to people, especially at work, check out my video on how to say no to your boss, which you can apply to other work situations as well. Seek growth instead of comfort. Get out of your comfort zone. You see this a lot in inspirational posts. I never took those inspirational posts seriously because they typically lack context. But I do agree that you should seek growth instead of comfort, and I'll explain why. I know that being in your comfort zone feels good. You won't have to suffer the pain of failure. Ironically though, the more you grow, the more comfortable you will actually become. You feel comfortable when you feel that you are equipped to face the challenges that come at you. If you avoid challenges and opportunities for growth because you feel uncomfortable with it, you will remain at the same level of capability, so any new challenges will easily stress you out. I noticed that once I became more accepting accepting to new challenges and focused on being more capable instead of being successful all the time, I actually felt more fearless and comfortable with myself. Social situations that used to give me anxiety became a lot less scary. Although not necessarily more pleasant, I'm still an introvert at heart. Problems that I thought I am not smart enough to solve became solvable with effort. Or I can honestly say to myself that this is not my priority to solve. You cannot avoid all the challenges in life, so you might as well buckle up and equip yourself to face them. Take a moment and think of the times that you were presented with a challenge. How did you respond? Did you accept the challenge or shy away from it? In a similar vein, nice people are not always good for you, and good people are not always nice to you. People who are always nice and pleasant, who constantly validate you, might not help you grow. They may just be avoiding conflict. Sometimes you do need a wake-up call, and those people are not going to give it to you. On the other hand, people who are genuinely good for you will be honest about your flaws without being abusive and push you to improve. Their feedback might sting, but it's what you need to grow. Of course, when you first meet a person, you don't want to risk offending them, so you may err on the side of being nice. But if over time that person never disagrees with you or gives you any constructive feedback, then the trust is not there. I used to think negative feedback from others was hurtful, even though that feedback was meant to help me improve. I worked hard, but I was only seeking validation, so I shied away from negative feedback even though there were things I could have improved. After I became more receptive to constructive feedback, I had more open conversations with the people around me and learned new skills and improved existing ones much faster. Think about the people around you. Do you have people who are candid with you and will help you become a better person? There you have it. I hope this helps and you don't have to learn these lessons the hard way. What are some lessons that you learned the hard way? Comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.